In the evening, the priority lane at Terminal B was moving without a sound, bigger than a scanner beep. A man in a navy suit stepped up, placed his passport in the tray, got scanned, got printed, and left. A couple with 2 silver suitcases did the same. Then a woman with a leather folder. Then a man with a watch bright enough to catch the ceiling lights. Victor Lang handled all of them from behind the same low wooden podium. His scanner stayed near his right hand. His printer kept feeding out boarding passes. His monitor was turned just far enough that passengers could not read the full screen. Nothing was delayed. Nothing was questioned. Then Maya Ellison stepped under the red velvet rope with a canvas backpack on one shoulder and a phone already lit in her hand. The gold border around her boarding code was visible from where I stood. Her name was visible too. So was the seat. 1A. Victor Lang looked at the phone for less than a second. Then he looked down. Her shoes first. The frayed knees of her jeans, the plain gray hoodie, the backpack strap pressing into one shoulder. Only after that did he look at her face. The scanner stayed on the counter. "You're in the wrong line," he said. Maya stopped at the edge of the podium. Behind her, the red rope swayed once and went still. "This is priority check-in for Flight 218, she said. Victor reached toward the scanner, but not to use it. He picked up a cloth instead and wiped the glass in a slow circle, though the last passenger had just been scanned without a pause. "It is," he said. "That's why you need to go over there." He pointed past her toward the economy line stretching back to the glass doors. Maya did not turn. She held the phone higher, close enough for the code to fill the scanner window. "My seat is 1A. Victor folded the cloth, set it down, and still did not scan. A suitcase behind me rolled forward half a step. Its wheels made a dry scrape against the floor. Someone farther back let out a breath through his nose, short and loud enough to be heard. Victor glanced at the line, not at the phone. At the line. "Screens crack," he said. "Codes fail. My screen is readable. People use screenshots." Maya kept her arm steady. "Scan it first." Victor's jaw moved once. He picked up the scanner, held it too far from the phone, then brought it closer with a quick motion, as if he expected the code to resist him. The beep came immediately, sharp, clean. The monitor changed. I could not see the full record from my place in line, but I could see the green bar stretch across the top of the screen. Victor could see everything. His eyes moved from left to right, stopped, then moved back again. The printer made a low click. Maya did not speak. Victor leaned closer to the monitor. "Carter. Maya, seat 1A, priority verified, passenger record active." There was no warning box, no payment hold, no identity alert, no error message asking for a supervisor. Victor set the scanner down. "Machine read the code," he said. "It read my booking. It read what was on your phone." Maya looked at the passport tray, still empty in front of him. "You can ask for my identification." Victor did not ask. He pressed one key. The printer pulled in a sheet, clicked twice, and released the boarding pass. He picked it up, turned it face down, and pushed it across the podium with one finger. "Step aside," he said. "I'll come back to this after the line moves." Maya looked at the pass, but did not pick it up right away. "Please enter the reason." Victor's hand stayed beside the printer. "For what?" "For telling me to leave the lane after a valid scan." "I printed your pass." "You printed it after refusing the check-in." The line behind her went quiet in a different way, not empty, not calm, just waiting for someone else to decide what the room was allowed to hear. The printer clicked again. A second slip came out. Victor reached for it quickly, but the top line was visible before his fingers covered it. "Manual comment required." He held the slip flat against the counter. Maya picked up her boarding pass. She turned it over, checked the name, checked the gate, checked the seat, then looked at the paper under Victor's hand. "That field is blank," she said. Victor did not answer. The airport announcements rolled above us. A child cried near the economy queue. The scanner light stayed green on the counter. Victor lifted his hand from the slip. The words were still there. "Manual comment required." Maya stepped to the side of the podium, not out of the lane, just far enough for the next passenger to see the monitor. The cursor blinked in the comment box. Victor did not type. Maya reached the gate with the boarding pass folded once in her hand. The gate area was quieter than the check-in hall. The windows looked black against the evening. A service cart moved past the glass with its yellow light blinking. At the desk, 2 agents called groups in order, while passengers stood from their seats and pulled bags into the aisle. When first class was called, Maya stepped forward with the others. No one stopped her there. The scanner at the gate beeped once. The agent looked at the screen, then handed the pass back without changing his face. "Have a good flight." Maya walked down the jet bridge with her backpack close to her side. I boarded a few minutes after her. The first-class cabin had soft white light and the smell of coffee from the galley. Coats were being hung. Bags were being lifted. A man in seat 1B adjusted his cufflinks and looked out the window. Patricia Hale stood near the front door, taking boarding passes as passengers entered. She had a calm voice and a practiced nod. For the man ahead of Maya, she barely looked at the pass before returning it. Then Maya stepped in. Patricia took the boarding pass. She did not return it right away. She held it closer to the light, tilted it slightly, and ran one fingernail along the edge of the paper. Maya waited. Patricia looked at the pass again. Seat 1A. Yes. She glanced toward the cabin, then toward the galley tablet mounted near the door. That seat is usually held for regular members. I selected it when I booked. Patricia's thumb stayed on the corner of the pass. We may need to reseat you before departure. Maya looked at the printed seat number. Is there an equipment change? Patricia did not answer that. Go ahead for now. She handed the pass back. Maya moved past her and put her backpack in the overhead bin above seat 1A. She sat down, buckled her seatbelt, and placed both hands flat on her knees. The boarding continued. No one else had a pass held to the light. No one else was told their seat was temporary. After takeoff, the cabin settled into the low hum of night travel. The meal orders were taken from the front row backward. Patricia asked seat 1B if he wanted still or sparkling water. She asked the next passenger if he preferred coffee after dinner. When she reached the aisle beside Maya, she turned the cart slightly away. Maya looked up. Could I have water? Please. Service will come with the meal, Patricia said. She did not stop the cart. Seat 1B looked toward Maya, then back down at his napkin. The plane leveled out. The seatbelt sign switched off. Cabin lights dimmed. About half an hour later, Maya stood and moved toward the forward lavatory. The sign on the door showed vacant. Her hand was already near the handle when Patricia stepped out from the galley. That one is unavailable. Maya paused. The sign says vacant. The sign is wrong. Use the rear lavatory. Maya looked at the small service panel beside the galley. The maintenance light was dark. She said nothing. She turned and walked down the aisle past the first-class curtain, through the next cabin, and out of sight. When she returned, a woman in the second row was standing with a small, open pouch in her hand. My bracelet is gone, the woman said. Patricia looked first at the pouch, then at Maya. You were the only passenger walking through the cabin. Maya stopped beside seat 1A. I went where you told me to go. Unnecessary movement makes things harder for the crew. Seat 1B sat forward. I was awake, he said. She did not touch that bag. Patricia turned toward him. Please remain seated. Maya kept her voice low. Open the lost property form. Add the time. Check the cabin movement record before you name anyone. Patricia picked up the interphone. Maya looked at the tablet near the galley. The screen changed before Patricia spoke. Do not remove passenger. Preserve cabin timeline. Station compliance meeting aircraft on arrival. Patricia's hand stayed on the phone. Maya stood beside seat 1A with her boarding pass still folded in her hand. The message remained on the tablet. Patricia did not turn the screen toward the cabin. Patricia kept the interphone near her ear, but she did not speak into it. The tablet message stayed lit beside the galley. Preserve cabin timeline. Seat 1B could read it from where he sat. So could the woman in the second row, still holding the open pouch in both hands. Maya lowered herself into seat 1A. She placed her folded boarding pass on the armrest, face up this time, with her name and seat number showing. The captain's voice came over the speaker a few minutes later. We'll be arriving on schedule. Please remain seated after landing until the front cabin is released. That was all. No emergency landing, no security announcement. No one came through the aisle with restraints. Patricia pushed the service cart back into the galley. She did not offer water to seat 1A. She did not speak again to the woman with the pouch. The rest of the flight ran under a quiet. Nobody knew how to brake. The wheels touched down late into the night. The cabin lights came up. Phones turned on across the rows. Seat belts clicked open, then stopped when the front door stayed closed. Outside, a service truck rolled into place. Then the door opened. 3 people stepped in, a station manager, a cabin compliance officer, a security supervisor. No one raised a voice. No one asked Maya to stand first. The compliance officer went straight to the galley tablet and took a photo of the message still on the screen. The station manager turned to Patricia. "Property form?" Patricia reached toward a drawer. The drawer was empty. There wasn't time, she said. The station manager looked at the clock above the galley door. "Then we'll start with the time." The security supervisor asked the woman in the second row to place the pouch on the tray table. He did not touch it. He asked her to open each pocket herself. The bracelet was in the side pocket, flat against a folded receipt. The woman stared at it. "I didn't put it there." No one answered. Seat 1B spoke before anyone asked him. "She walked past me twice. Her hands were visible both times." The compliance officer looked at him. "Did anyone check the cabin movement record before naming you?" "No." "Did anyone open a property form?" "No." "Were you told the forward lavatory was unavailable?" "Yes." The officer checked the service panel beside the galley. No maintenance code was entered. Patricia looked toward the cockpit door. The captain had stepped out, but he stayed behind the curtain. The station manager held out one hand, the cabin tablet. Patricia looked down at it before handing it over. "You're off passenger duty for the rest of the rotation," he said. "Step off with the compliance officer." No one clapped. No one moved. Patricia walked past seat 1A without looking at Maya. The compliance officer followed her through the open door. The station manager turned to the captain. There was no property form, no time entry, and no cabin movement check before the concern was accepted. The captain looked at the tablet. "I understand. You'll put that in writing before this aircraft is released." Then the station manager placed another printout on the galley counter. It was from downstairs, the check-in scan, the priority verification, the empty manual comment field. Victor Lang had left the first blank space. Patricia Hale had built the second one in the air. The two pages were clipped together. Sometimes the correction is not the loud part. On Black CEO Tales, watch the paper nobody wanted to fill out, because that is where the truth usually waits. The woman with the bracelet signed a correction statement at the gate. Seat 1B gave his witness statement before leaving. Maya was handed a copy of the incident number. She folded it once and placed it behind her boarding pass. "Do you want to leave first?" the station manager asked. Maya looked down the aisle at the passengers waiting with bags in their laps. "No," she said. "Open the door for them." The passengers deplaned row by row. This time nobody was moved out of order. In the weeks that followed, Terminal B changed the counter layout. The scanner was moved to the passenger side of the podium. Agents had to scan before directing anyone to another line. Any refusal after a valid scan required a written comment before the next passenger could be processed. Inside the cabin, a lost item claim required 3 entries before a crew member could name a passenger. Time, seat, checked storage area. The new rule was not printed on a poster. It lived in the screen. No comment, no escalation. Maya Ellison came through that terminal again in a gray jacket, carrying the same canvas backpack. This time the scanner beeped before anyone spoke. The first correction was not an apology. It was a rule that could not be skipped. This story is fictional. The characters, events, and settings were created for storytelling, educational, and reflective purposes. Any resemblance to real people or real events is purely coincidental.